Hello friends, this is Vikram Kumar Sharma, Assistant Professor at GEMS Engineering Management Technical Campus. So, as a part of the lecture series of the subject Business Statistics, um, we will move to the next lecture which covers Introduction to Data. In our previous two lectures, we covered the introduction to the course and then introduction to the statistics. So, in this last lecture, we discussed what is statistics. So, again, we will repeat statistics is basically a methodology to collect, organize, present, interpret, and analyze the data in order to make effective decisions. Now, in order to make effective decisions, one of the essential component is data. Now, data is the fundamental entity on which statistics is based. So, today we will discuss all the fundamental or all the essentials related with data. As we have earlier said, most of the companies, most of the organizations in the today's world are data rich but information poor. So, when we talk about data, what we mean? Does we mean quantitative data that is in the form of numbers, or do we mean um, qualitative data in terms of honesty, color, or what sort of it is? So in the today's lecture we will discuss all the aspects related with data. So let's start the discussion. So here are the topics which we are going to cover in the current lecture. First, data. Then what is qualitative data, what is quantitative data, and we will try to differentiate between the two. And then the quantitative data is further classified into primary data and secondary data. We will discuss primary data first, and then we will describe how it is different from secondary data. And finally, we will move to the last but not the least part of the lecture, that is collection of primary data. How data is collected, how primary data is collected, what are the various methods associated with it, we will discuss in the last part of the lecture. So let's start with the first concept, that is data. H.G. Wells, a famous philosopher, has said in earlier studies that statistics one day will be as essential as the skill to read and write. So today, in the modern world, we are facing the same situation. Now the statistics or the data analysis became so important that every company or every business model has to go through that. So the base of the fundamental of statistics is data. So let's discuss data first. Now data refers to any group of measurements that happen to interest us. These measurements provide information the decision maker uses. Data are the foundation of statistical investigation, and the job of collecting data is the same for a statistician as collecting stone, mortar, cement, bricks, etc. is for a builder. From the definition, we can see that data is the fundamental entity related with the analysis part. So if you do not have the data, you can't perform statistics on that. So in order to perform statistical tools or all the data analysis techniques which we will study in this course, we need to have a data first. So for example, if we want to know how many students are sleeping at 9 o'clock at 9 p.m. in the night. Suppose in a class of 60 students, we ask this question to the students. Now the result or the answers obtained from the respondents is known as data. Now that is the one way of collecting the data. Second is, if we see the magazines like NASCOM, like ASSOCHAM, like RBI bulletins, wholesale price index, WPI, that is, the reports in there can be regarded as the data. Now that data can be used for any analysis of any part. For example, if we say RBI is issuing more liquidity to the banks by reducing CRR, that is cash reserve ratio. In that case, we can see that If RBI is reducing the if RBI is increasing the liquidity of the banks by reducing CRR, that means there is more availability of funds to the individuals who are seeking loans. So that is an example of data. Now let's move to the classification of data. Now data is further classified into qualitative data and quantitative data. So let's discuss qualitative data first. Now qualitative data, when we define it as qualitative data are non-numeric. Non-numeric non-numeric means, that means data is not in the form of numbers. For example, if we say according to the classification, according to the definition of honesty in an organization, how many employees are working honestly in that particular organization. That means we are collecting the data on the basis of honesty. And let's say there are some fundamental parameters associated with honesty, like the stability of the job, like uh, like the constant increment they get in their salaries. These are some of the parameters which are associated with honesty. Then if we collect the data on the basis of honesty, that means it is a qualitative data. For example, if we are collecting the data in terms of color, if we say the employees in an organization are using which color of the shirt most frequently in that particular organization, then the data collected will be regarded as quantitative data. Qualitative data. Qualitative data are often terms categorical data. Categorical data, from categorical data we mean, suppose we asked a question from someone, the answer should be given either yes or no. Now the data collected in terms of that yes or no as responses from that respondent side, that will be known as qualitative data. For example, uh, if we say poor, fair, good, better, best, or colors or types of materials like straw, sticks, bricks, these are some of the examples of qualitative data. Now, some books use the terms individual and variable to reference the objects, characteristics described by the set of data. That means if we have to put it in simple terms, qualitative data are non-numeric, and in other words, it is also referred to as categorical data. Now let's move to the quantitative data. Now when we speak about quantitative data, this is the this is the kind of data which we frequently use or which we frequently see in the newspapers or in the RBI bulletins, in the ASSOCHAM news, in the WPI, in the CPI, that is Consumer Price Index. So quantitative data is the most frequently used data form in the present world. So when we talk about quantitative data are numeric in nature. Quantitative data are further classified as discrete or discontinuous. When we say data is discrete, that means it has a stable form. Stable form means it can't take decimal values. For example, if we collect the data of number of cars or number of vehicles crossing a toll tax, then the numbers can't be in the decimal. They have to be a standard number related to it. For example, the answer should be 100, 150, 149. It can't be 150.5. That means if the data is in its standard form, in its complete form, not in terms of decimals, then the data is known as discrete. If we say what is the height of students in a class, now in that case the height of the students can be in the form of decimals. Now that type of data is known as continuous data. So if we have to classify data as discrete and continuous, we can say when data represent counts, they are discrete. An example might be how many students were absent on a given day. The real numbers are continuous with no gaps or interruptions. Physically, measurable quantities of length, volume, time, mass, etc. are generally considered continuous. So, of the last two examples, we can easily uh, uh, classify quantitative data into discrete and continuous forms. Now, this quantitative data is further classified into primary data and secondary data. So let's start the discussion first with primary data. So what is primary data? When we speak of primary data, it is also known as raw data. It is basically a term for data collected from a source. That means it is the data which is collected for the first time, and it is to be used by the data collected from that source only. Now, raw data have not been subjected to any processing or any other manipulation and are also termed as or also referred as primary data. That means these are the data, these are the numbers in the purest form. For example, if we are collecting a data on a given date, how many employees were absent and they punched on which time. Now that data which we have collected for the first time on that given date is known as primary data. Now raw data is a relative term. Raw data can be input to a computer program or used in manual procedures such as analyzing statistics from a survey. So that means class, primary data means data in the raw form or in the purest form, which can be understood only by the person who collected that data. So it requires further analysis, it requires further processing. Now, if we collect the data, we analyze that data and publish that data in the form of some report, in the form of some interpretation. Now that data is known as secondary data. That means data is collected by someone else and it is to be used by us only. So that is known as secondary data. So when we define secondary data, it is data collected by someone other than the user. Common sources of secondary data for social sciences includes censuses, organizational records, and data collected through qualitative methodologies or qualitative research. Primary data, by contrast, are collected by investigators conducting the research. Secondary data analysis saves time that would otherwise be spent collecting data. That means the data published in the form of reports in RBI bulletins, ASSOCHAMs, chambers of commerce, consumer price indexes, wholesale price indexes, economic forums are no are is usually classified as secondary data. So data is in on by on the mode of on the basis of collection of data, by the way which method which we have used while collecting that data is classified into primary and secondary data. So that means secondary data is that data which is collected by someone else and which we are using for our further analysis, and primary data is that data which we have to collect for the first time. So what are the ways to collect that primary data? Let's discuss those. So collection of primary data includes these three standard methods. Number one, observation. Now when we speak of observation, for example, if we increase the price of, if we increase the let's say if we operate a sale of, let's say, 50% extra on a detergent powder, and we are trying to observe how this changes the amount of sales or amount of or the quantity of detergent powder in a particular showroom. So if that is the case, then the data collected by just observing the consumers or just observing the behavior of the consumers is known as observation. This is the one of the methods to collect the primary data. Second is questionnaire. Now questionnaire is a questionnaire in structured form. Questionnaire is further classified into structured and unstructured form. A structured questionnaire can be it is a pre-written form. That means it is written specifically in the form of dichotomous answers like yes, no, male, female, and so on. That means we are not giving any open-ended options to the respondents. While an unstructured questionnaire can be, if we
allow the consumers to write anything on that particular end. That means the most of the questions are open-ended one. Then then this type of methodology is known as questionnaire. That is one of the primarily used methods for data collection. Third is interview. Now, when we say interview, interview can be telephonic or face to face. In both the cases, where we are trying to have a conversation with the respondent and try to get the answers of the questions which we have already prepared. So, primary data collection of primary data basically includes these three standard methods, that is observation, questionnaire, and interview. And when we say interview, it is of two types, telephonic and face to face. So class, today we have discussed different terms or different concepts associated with data. In the next class, we will move to the measures of center tendency. That means we will now discuss what are the processes, what are the what are different statistical tools which we can apply on these data. So for today, this is that's all. Thanks a lot, class.